Vandag is die 11de April 2020, dis Lucas Swart van Swartberg ISS, Intelligence Support Services. Ons gaan 'n reeks van 5 video's maak, omdat ons so donder word met allerlei inligting omtrent die coronavirus en wat daarmee saamgaan, dat 'n mens later nie meer weet wat die waarheid is nie. So die 5 video's wat ons gaan maak, die heel eerste ene gaan oor die bronne wat ons gaan gebruik. Ons gaan hierdie bronne kombineer in ons reekse, sodat hulle saam praat. En die eerste ene wat ons dan gaan gebruik is Nikola Tesla. Wat ek wil sê van hierdie video, jy hoef dit nie te kyk nie. Ek gaan dit ook baie klein maak, sodat dit nie te veel tyd van jou spandeer nie. Maar jy sal self met hierdie video die ander video's wat ons gebruik het op YouTube kan gaan kry. Die tweede video gaan oor die virus, wat dit is, hoe dit versprei en die invloed wat die virus het. Die derde een is die manier om die virus te beveg, en dan gaan ons kyk na immunisasie, en daarna gaan ons kyk wat 5G is en hoe dit ons kan beïnvloed. Nikola Tesla het van 1874 af begin patente registreer. Hy is die ontwikkelaar van wisselstroom en hy het meer as 300 patente in sy lewe geregistreer en 80% van die patente wat hy geregistreer het, is die fondasie waarop vandag se tegnologie is. Een van die goed wat hy gedoen het, sy hoë toring wat hy gebou het, waarmee hy elektriese strome reg om die wêreld laat gaan het, om vir mense gratis elektrisiteit te gee. JP Morgan het besluit dat dit nie 'n goeie idee is nie, maar vandag kan ons die effek van Nikola Tesla se ontdekking sien. En in die moderne tegnologie is daar alreeds ontwikkelings waar hulle met verskillende stroombane van magnete elektriese lig kan laat brand en batterye kan laai, sonder om dit fisies aan iets te koppel. Maar dit beteken dat daar wel elektriese strome rondom hierdie wêreld gaan, as gevolg van die frekwensies en elektriese strome wat 'n invloed op ons kan hê. Die feit dat ek in Suid-Afrika kan sit en 'n WhatsApp call China toe kan maak en ons direk met mekaar kan praat asof ons by mekaar is, hoe onmiddellik dit is, wys jy die astronomiese gevolge van hierdie strale. Nou die eerste ene waaroor ons gaan praat is Dr. Deborah Davis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ivan Mariels. I'm the Dean of Engineering here at the University of Melbourne, and it's a real pleasure to welcome you here to the last Dean's Lecture of the year. Today's lecture is sponsored across the Faculty of Science, Faculty of Medicine, and Faculty of Engineering because of its topic. Let me just introduce Dr. Deborah Davis, who doesn't probably need an awful lot of introduction. But Dr. Deborah Davis is a visiting professor of medicine at the Hebrew University, Hadassah Medical School, and also in Turkey at the Ondokus Mayıs University. She's an expert studying the electromagnetic radiation for mobile phones and wireless transmitting devices at present. She was the founding director of the Center for Environmental Oncology, which was the first such center in the world, and was established at the University of Pittsburgh Cancer Institute. And he was looking at the environmental factors that contribute to cancers. In 2007, she founded a non-profit environmental health trust to provide basic research and education about environmental impact on health hazard. She served as President Clinton's appointee on the Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board in the United States from 1994 to 1999. That was an independent executive branch of the government that investigated all the effects of chemical accidents and how to prevent and mitigate against them. She was also a senior advisor to the Assistant Secretary for Health in the Department of Health and Human Services in the United States, and as such has counseled many leading officials in the United States, United Nations, World Bank, European Environmental Agency, the Pan American Health Organization, and the World Bank. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, a Master of Arts in Sociology. She has a PhD in Science from the University of Chicago, and she has a Master of Public Health in Epidemiology from the Johns Hopkins University. A lot of degrees. She has also more than 200 publications and she's been published in Lancet and the Journal of American Medical Associations, which are some of the top journals in the field of medical research. And she, of course, has publications in Scientific American and the New York Times. Deborah Davis, we're very pleased to listen to the truth about mobile phone and wireless radiation. All yours.
My name is Knut Witkowski. I was at the Rockefeller University for 20 years, head of the Department of Biostatistics, Epidemiology, and Research Design. And before that, I worked for 15 years with Klaus Dietz, one of the leading epidemiologists in the world, in the German town of Tübingen at the Eberhard University. Well, I'm not paid by the government, so I'm entitled to actually do science.
And why? Won't governments just say that's because we practice social distancing?
I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what other people think. I'm a scientist.
And just so you don't think I'm sitting here making stuff up, I'll quickly tell you my background so you know how and why I'm telling you these things. I was one of those kids that could read and write before I even started school. I knew my 1 to 12 times table before other kids even knew how to open a book. I won academic scholarships at 2 expensive private schools. I did 6 years of science, which included medicine. I did 6 years of natural health and medicine. And I spent 3 years solely looking into the nature of viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungus, and parasites. And as a practitioner, I treated myself and a number of other people successfully long-term for conditions of the same. And when I did my last IQ and aptitude test, I was taken into a separate room and I was interrogated to see if I cheated. And more than anything, unlike Google and Facebook, I don't have vested financial interest dictating what I can say, and I don't have shares in vaccine companies.
But the man who at the age of 14 in 1978 invented email, yes, the inventor and copyright holder of email. Oh yes, Dr. Shiva, welcome to the Next News Network.
I've been a student of politics since I was a kid because I grew up in India, which had a caste system. I was considered an untouchable, which is the lowest of the Indian caste system. I created a company called Cytosolve. One of the other inventions I did out of my PhD work, to use the computer to understand chemical reactions in our body and on our cell, basically use a computer to model diseases so we could eliminate the need for animal testing. So Cytosolve is this amazing invention which allows me to do in a different way what my grandmother did intuitively, which is to understand the combinations and mixtures of chemicals to figure out medicines from food and natural products faster, cheaper, and safer.
This evening, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, whom many people may know, a vaccine expert and somebody who's very well known in the medical community. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is an osteopathic medical doctor, board certified in 3 specialties. She is the founder of Tenpenny Integrative Medical Center, a medical clinic located near Cleveland, Ohio. Her company, CoursesForMastery.com, provides online education and training regarding all aspects of vaccines and vaccination. Dr. Tenpenny has invested nearly 20 years and more than 40,000 hours documenting and exposing the problems associated with vaccines. She is an internationally known speaker and author. She has many articles translated into at least 15 languages. She's a frequent guest on radio and TV to share her knowledge and educate parents on why they should just say no to vaccines. And she has also authored some articles recently, which I hope we can start our conversation with this evening.
We reached out to General Robert Spalding, who wrote a book called Stealth War: How China Took Over While America's Elite Slept. I literally couldn't put this book down. And once you read it as well, we'll put the link below, you'll know exactly why. He was the former senior director of strategy at the National Security Council, and he was kind enough to fly out to Dallas for us to have this conversation together about US, China, 5G, and a lot of other technical issues that have to do with that. Having said that, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you for making the time.
My father was, he is on the left here, my father was officer of the General Staff of the Soviet Army. He was inspector of land forces, Soviet troops stationed in countries like Mongolia, Cuba, East European countries. This is the picture taken at the entrance of my Institute of Oriental Languages. It's a part of Moscow State University. As every Soviet student, I was, quote-unquote, volunteering for harvesting grain in Kazakhstan. By the end of my training in school, I was recruited by the KGB. This picture was taken on that day, and you can see again how happy it feels to be recruited by the KGB. In 1967, the KGB attached me to this magazine, Look magazine. A group of 12 people arrived to USSR from the United States to cover the 50th anniversary of October Socialist Revolution in my country. From the first page to the last page, it was a package of lies.
Our conversation is with Mr. Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov. Mr. Bezmenov was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow. He was the son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was the, and still is, I should say, the press arm or the press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. One of his interesting assignments was to brainwash foreign diplomats when they visited Moscow. And he'll tell us a little bit about how they did this and how they planted information which eventually wound up in the press of the free world. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures.